Near mint condition, the home of collected editions. And check out that eye, that's exactly what we want to see. Woo, look at that panel, baby. And that, as they say, is that. Who are you gonna call? Well, apparently this time around we're gonna be calling Dark Horse Comics because we are going to be doing an overview of The Real Ghostbusters, a visual history by Troy Benjamin and Craig Goldberg. So let's take a look at this hardcover together that brought back a lot of memories. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, a big thank you to the folks at Dark Horse for sending us a copy of this hardcover. And by now, the hardcover has been released everywhere, and this is the one that's going to be available everywhere. There is a limited edition that I think you can only get through Dark Horse Direct that actually looks like it's an Ecto pack. I can't remember, but it's a little more expensive than this. So here we have this image right here from the toys, if you remember. Of course, based on the characters from the cartoon or based on the characters from the movie. I love the making of all this. And you're going to learn a lot here. Visual history by Troy Benjamin and Craig Goldberg. And then, of course, the spine of the book, the Dark Horse logo. Visual history and Dark Horse down there. And then that image from the cartoon. $54.99, a Dark Horse logo, the Ghostbusters logo. This does come sealed in plastic, and it does have, of course, a leaflet, which we all keep around here. We don't throw these away. This tells you a little bit more than this right here, telling you kind of like what you're going to find on the inside. Plus, it gives you the ISBN and retail price. And in case you're not familiar with these type of art books, like the He-Man art books that Dark Horse has been releasing, I'm going to compare it to the size of an omnibus. So that kind of gives you an idea of just how much taller and wider it is than an Omni. And of course, Marvel and DC Omnis are the same height. Does it fit in a Kalex? Yeah, it actually does. This particular book does. But keep in mind, it is just wider. All right. So, up next, let's go ahead and check out what this is exactly. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. Of course, the Ghostbusters logo there and there. And The Real Ghostbusters, a visual history by Troy Benjamin and Craig Goldberg, Dark Horse logo, and your table of contents. You have a forward here by Joe Medjuk, and your introduction, and a little bit of behind the scenes. I actually took this with me on vacation because I have fond memories of this cartoon and the toys. Toys I couldn't afford. Toys I always wanted, and I ended up getting just a couple of them, and through yard sales, and that was it. This is a freaking amazing treat, by the way. You are going to be diving deep into the history with creator interviews, and especially like the JMS stuff, if you're a big fan of J. Michael Straczynski and his episodes. Oh man, there's some extra special treats in here. So this is kind of like the timeline breakdown of when it all started. Like June of 1984 is when the Ghostbusters movie was released in theaters, and then when the idea for the cartoon came about, and just how long it took until production, and when they finally got things made, the character designs, and then of course the behind the scenes as to Ghostbusters, Filmation's Ghostbusters, and why they had to call this The Real Ghostbusters as opposed to just Ghostbusters, and why they decided to change the hair color, right? Egon's hair. It was always a big issue for me when I was a kid. I'm like, why is that dude's hair white? It's black in the movie. I don't get it. And then why they decided to change up a couple of the things that were different in the movies, right? Make it a little less scary, but holy crap, if you remember that first season, there was some really creepy episodes. Looking at you, Sandman, man, that Sandman episode was great, or the Armageddon episode, or even the Boogeyman. So what you're going to be seeing in here are just designs, character designs, settings, and an in-depth look at the development of the Real Ghostbusters animated series. Also the toys. So we are going to be seeing a visual history of the toy line as well. How that got started. And some of the things that didn't make it to the final product. So here we have... Actually, let's go back here. Because this actually lets you know that you are about to see the character designs here. And these are character studies, so in case an animator wanted to know what the back of Peter Venkman's head looked like, he could just go to these character study guides back here. And there's Janine, who looks a little bit different from time to time, too, and she changes her haircut. Speaking of the Boogeyman, oh, man, so good. The Boogeyman's Netherworld right there. So if you're a fan of this era, if you're a fan of like the cartoons or even the movies and you never got that big into the cartoon, this really goes deep into what the cartoons were doing different and just how ahead of the time they were with the storytelling, right? Like they were telling stories for kids that would put nightmares in your mind. Like you would stay with that. I remember the Armageddon episode. Oh my gosh, man, that stuck with me until like a couple of days at school when I was talking to my friends about it. And then, of course, when they aired and what network they were airing. I mean, this goes in depth as to how it's chronicling the history of the real Ghostbusters, right? From the episodes that are aired all the way into the toy lines. And there were different toys, too, that they were trying out different things on. Much like Transformers at the time, they were getting really creative with toys. And the many different hairdos of Janine Melnitz right here. Now, of course, Lois comes on, I think is he in season 2, I think? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Oh, and there are highlight episodes here. Like this is Richard Mueller's episode, The Revenge of Murray the Mantis. So you are going to be seeing... Oh, Troll Bridge was so good. This is about a troll... or a bunch of trolls that are living under the Brooklyn Bridge, and one of the trolls gets away, this guy right here, and they give the Ghostbusters 24 hours to find him, or they're going to just kind of destroy the big city. Oh man, it's like a Mad Max type of character designs for the trolls. It is so freaking good. The Boogeyman cometh. I mean, that actually is nightmare fuel compared to the final look. Even though the final look of the Boogeyman, and I think it was Frank Welker that actually did his voice, was freaking creepy. And, of course, what is 80s cartoons without the toy lines. So here we have, I think Kenner had the rights to them at first. And the designs of what the cards would look like. And just a different idea for toys. Unfortunately, not all of them got made. Just some of them were just ideas in the end on paper. The different monsters. And then, of course, the final product right here. I think these are still the prototypes, if I'm not mistaken. The prototypes on cards. And then what they look like. Yeah, I never did get those. I think I found a couple at a yard sale. And it was like 2 of these little guys. And I found Peter Venkman without his proton pack. But, I mean... now that I'm an adult, I can buy them again. And I know there was a retro series of them, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Slimer. Man, I always wanted the Firehouse. Now, I did end up getting the Firehouse, the limited edition, like, DVD, I think, that came out. But I always wanted the toy. And this is the Night Game. Man, there's so many memorable episodes, too, especially that first season. I think by this time, I was kind of out. I thought, oh, these are not for me. This is like, what are they, the fright feature, so you can push a button and they get scared, like cartoony scared. And man, that is a cool design for Janine. But there weren't a lot of toys of her, so I think I ended up trying to find her. I would see, where did I had to see them cheap somewhere, like at Big Lots, after they were discounted heavily. I had the Granny and the football player. Some that I found at, again, yard sales. And they would turn into monsters, and the vehicles would turn into monsters. Yeah, but I never had like the actual proton packs. I never had the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So it's really cool to see some of these particular prototypes too that unfortunately never made it, and the ideas they had for future. Hey, there's Lois. Future toys that unfortunately the series was canceled by then. And I had one. I think it was the werewolf. Like when you pushed on his legs, he would. Maybe it was my brother that had that one. Always wanted the Ecto one, man. That thing was so cool. And of course, it's Ecto 1A, right? Because it's the animated series. And you're going to be seeing highlight episodes throughout the whole book. There's actually talks of J. Michael Straczynski's episodes in here, too. The Collect Call of Cthulhu. The High Sea. Oh my gosh. This is the J. Michael Straczynski, the Halloween. Oh, the Halloween Door is an excellent episode. They do talk about the voice actors as well. The Grundle. That one freaked me out too. Another one written by J. Michael Straczynski. That's a great episode, man. And some sidekicks that did not, unfortunately, make it to the final products, and some more toys. I think this is, yeah, towards the end here, you're going to be looking at the last few seasons, the future Ghostbusters. I think I've only seen that season one time. Classic stuff I've seen with my kids a few times. Just wanted to introduce them to those books. And then acknowledgments and contributors. So let's look at the build. So the book has 248 pages, retailing for $54.99. And it is printed in this thick, glossy paper stock where you're not going to really see any bleed through. And there's no gutter loss. Man, that brought back memories. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this hardcover, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count and build of this visual history. Let me know in the comments down below if you're a fan of the real Ghostbusters, if you love the cartoon, if you love the movies, and if you had the toys, and of course if you ended up picking this up. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Smash that like button on the way out. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.